Hello lovely people, welcome to a video where we are looking at a paper 2 walkthrough, and I happen to be doing this video while sat in nature. So first of all, this paper has come from Corbett Maths. Love the person that does Corbett Maths. He has created some amazing resources, so do check them out if you do need extra resources for practicing more questions on particular topics. That's what this walkthrough is supposed to be designed for, by the way. It's designed to help you identify what kinds of questions you can do and what kinds of questions you can't do. And with the kinds of questions that you can't do, you can find more questions on that topic to then work through. Cool, so let's begin. So this is a calculator paper, and the first question is asking us to work out 1 2/11 times 8/9. Now we do have the method of converting both into mixed numbers and then multiplying it that way, but let's just suppose that you come across a calculation that involves multiplying such numbers. First of all, there is a mixed fraction button that exists on the calculator, which you must use. Don't just type in 1 and then the fraction 2/11, because your calculator will interpret that as multiplying. 1 2/11 really means 1 plus 2/11. So if you had to do it that way, there was no mixed number button, or you didn't know how to access it, you can do it like this in a bracket and then multiply it by 8/9. Now I am just going to do that 1 and 2/11 multiplied by 8/9. I'm doing this on the calculator. That gives an answer of 104/99. Now they haven't asked us to do this, but we could turn this into a mixed number. So how many 99s go into 104? Where it's 1 and the remainder is 5. So it's 5/99. So 1 and 5/99. Now you could also write 104/99. That is perfectly okay. Next, write down the reciprocal of 0.22. So in your calculator, you could just go 1/0.22 and it will give you a fractional answer. So that's perfectly acceptable. But for those that, perhaps were thinking about how you would do it in a non-calculator paper, because they could ask you this, you would do this. So 0.22 as a fraction, first of all, is 22/100. And therefore the reciprocal would be 100/22. Now you can simplify this. That's the same thing as 50/11, dividing both top and bottom by 2. So that's one way you can write it. So this is one possible answer that you can write. If you really wanted to, you could also write it as a mixed number. So how many 11s go into 50? That's going to be 4. And then the remainder is 6. So 4 and 6/11. So this is equally an answer as well. So this is fine. That's fine too. Next, write 83.07718 correct to 2 decimal places. So 83.0. Now we have to look and ask ourselves, is this 7 going to stay the same or is it going to go up? Well, the number next to it is a number that is 5 or more. Therefore, it means that this 7 is going to round up to an 8. So 83.08. Next, write 10/64 as a percentage. Well, with this one, we can write 10/64 on our calculators times by 100. So it's going to interpret that as 10 divided by 64 and then times by 100. So I'm just putting that in my calculator. So times 100. And that gives 125/8 or 15.625. So it's 15.625%. Okay, next question. Express 1008 as a product of prime factors. Now, there is actually a way of doing this on your calculator, but again, in case you just want a refresher of what it is to actually express something as a product of prime factors, we're going to do this. So 1008, find two numbers that multiply to give 1008, ideally where one of them is not 1. We can have 504 multiplied by 2. 2 is prime, so we're going to circle it. 504, well, we can have, that is 2, which is again prime, multiplied by 252. 252 we can break down, and that is 2, again is prime, multiplied by 126. And then the 126, again, we can break down. I don't really have space, I'm just going to bring it here. That's going to be 63 and 2. 2 is prime. And then 63 can be broken down into 9 times 7. So that's 7 is prime. And then 9 can be broken down into 3 and 3, which are both prime. So look at all the numbers that are circled. That is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. There are 4 2's. And then times 3 times 3. And then times 7. And in index form, that is 2 to the power of 4 multiplied by 3 squared multiplied by 7. So that's our answer. 2 to the 4 times 3 squared times 7. You have to write it in index form because it says express your answer in index form. Then it says, hence find the least number by which 1008 would need to be multiplied by to give a square number. And in this case, when you're thinking about products of prime factors, a square number is one where all the powers are even. So that's what we need. Well, we can see in our current answer that 2 to the 4 times 3 squared times 7, which by the way is the same thing as 7 to the power of 1. We can see that this power is even, so we're good. This is even, so we're good. However, this is not even. So if we were to multiply this by 7, that would now make it 2 to the power of 4 times 3 squared times 7 squared, which is what we want. So we want, that's the smallest thing that you'd have to multiply by to ensure that all the powers are even. So our answer is just 7. And just to show you, make you understand a bit more as to why that's a square number. So 2 to the 4 times 3 squared times 7 squared, that's the target number. And we get there by doing times 7. So we've got the answer. I'm just giving a bit more of an explanation. Well, this can be written as 2 squared times 3 to the 1 times 7 to the 1 multiplied by 2 squared times 3 to the 1 times 7 to the 1. And that just shows it's a square number because I've written it as some other number times itself. So hopefully that gives an explanation. Okay, moving on. Next we have y to the 4 times y to the n equals 1. And we want to find out the value of n. Well, let's just rewrite this. So y to the 4 times y to the n equals y to the power of 0. Because anything to the power of 0 is 1. And then when you times, you add the powers. So that's the same thing as y to the power of 4 plus n, which equals y to the 0. So that means that 4 plus n is equal to 0, because you've now got y to the power of something is the same thing as y to the power of something else. So that means that n must equal 0 minus 4, which is just minus 4. So n is minus 4. Next question. We're going to simplify this. So we've got a to the power of 8, and we're dividing that by a to the power of 3 times a to the power of minus 9. Again, using that index law, we do 3 plus minus 9, which is minus 6, so a to the power of minus 6. And here we're dividing, so we subtract powers, so it becomes a to the power of 8 minus minus 6, which is equal to a to the power of 8 plus 6, which is equal to a to the power of 14. So that's that question done there. Next, write down the value of 5 to the power of minus 3. Well, we can just use our calculator to do this. And our calculator will give us 1 over 125. Now, again, if people want to know the index law, 5 to the power of minus 3, the negative means you do the reciprocal. So we have 1 over 5 to the power of 3, which gives us the 1 over 125 we're looking for. And again, same with this, we can actually just put this into our calculator. It will give us 216. However, you can also, be reminded that the fractional power means you take the root, so the square root of 36, because of the bottom number, and you raise it to the power of the top number there, so to the power of 3. So that becomes 6 to the power of 3, which is 6 times 6 times 6, which is 216. Okay, next question. The population of a country at the beginning of 2011 was 4,380,000. Over the next decade, the population increased by 7%. Work out the population at the beginning. Well, at the beginning of 2021. Well, with this question, it's just taking 4,380,000 and just multiplying it, or increasing it by 7%. So we take 4,380,000 and then we increase it by 7%. Well, that is the same thing as multiplying by 1.07. That's our multiplier. So 4,380,000 times 1.07. And that will give us this number here, 468. I don't know why I'm struggling to read that. 468,6600. So let's write that in a bit more of a friendly manner. So 4,686,600. So my spacing is just to make us understand the number. So 4,686,600. Next, Susan buys an antique for £120 and sells it for £260. Work out her percentage profit. Well, let's just work out how much she actually makes. So we're doing here 216, take away 120. Okay, so let's do 216, take away 120. That gives us 96. This is so weird. What's going on here? Then we work out what is 96 as a percentage of 120. So we do 96 over 120. That's the original amount. And actually, we can just do that result times by 100. Don't know why the work is moving with me, but this work is moving a bit differently. Times 100, that's going to be 80. So overall, it's an 80% profit. I don't know what's going on. Okay. So there we go. Next, bag A contains 5x coins. Bag B contains 3x coins. 8 coins are taken from bag B and put into bag A. Well, if 8 coins are taken from bag B, that means that in bag B, we now have 3x minus 8 coins. And then bag A gains those coins. So then that means that bag A now has 5x plus 8 coins. Okay. This now means that now they told us the ratio of the coins in bag A to bag B is now 11:5. So we can create an equation. And I kind of thought about it like this. Because they've given us the ratio 11:5, that basically means if you took the contents of bag A, multiplied it by 5, that would give you 55 parts. And if you took the contents of bag B and multiplied it by 11, so times that by 5 and times that by 11, that also gives you 55. And the idea is that they would both be equal. So we can make an equation like that. So if we take the contents of bag A, which is 5x plus 8, times that by 5, so 5 lots of 5x plus 8, that would equal 11 lots of bag B, which is 3x minus 8. And it says work out the total number of coins. Well, we can basically solve this equation. So multiply it out, we get 25x plus 40, because 5 times 8 is 40. 11 times 3x is 33x. 11 times minus 8 is minus 88. I'm going to subtract 25x from both sides, so I get 40 equals 8x minus 88. Add 88 to both sides, so I get 128 is equal to 8x. Then divide both sides by 8. I am shamelessly using the calculator. That's going to be 16, so x is equal to 16. But that's not the question. The question asks work out the total number of coins. So the total number of coins is 5x and 3x. So 5x plus 3x makes 8x, and then we're doing 8 multiplied by 16, which is 128. Now, we could have actually stopped this question. If anyone noticed, we could have actually stopped at this point and gotten our 8x. If you'd spotted already that 5x and 3x is the total number of coins, i.e. 8x. But not to worry. Okay, next question. Okay, this question's a bit of a weird one, but let's go for it. Miss Jones owns a factory that makes pens. She has received an order for a large quantity of pens, and she knows if she used 8 machines, it would take 72 hours for enough pens to be made. Miss Jones plans to start making pens at 8 a.m. on Monday with 2 machines. She can start using a third machine at 5 p.m. on Tuesday. Finally, 3 more machines will be free at 10 a.m. on Wednesday. Approximately when will enough pens be made? Oh my goodness. Okay, fine. So, with these kinds of questions, how am I going to approach this one? Let's see. Let me just change color. Let's go for blue. Right, so they've not actually told us how many pens is enough pens. Not to worry though. So, we know that 8 machines would take 72 hours to make our grand number of enough pens. So I'm just going to call that E. So E just means enough in this question. Okay, so we want to know how long it would take to make enough pens. So Miss Jones, though, only starts making pens at 8 a.m. on Monday with 2 machines. So first of all, if we had 2 machines, well, 2 machines would take 72 hours to make, well, to get from 8 to 2, we've divided by 4, so we can go a quarter E. So a quarter of enough pens. We'd have a quarter of the pens made. That's 72 hours, that should say. Okay, and we also know that Miss Jones started at 8 a.m. on Monday and finished at 5, and then before things change, so that goes on until 5 p.m. on Tuesday. So how much time is it from 8 a.m. On a Monday to 5 p.m. on a Tuesday? Well, 8 a.m. on a Monday to 8 a.m. on a Tuesday, that is 24 hours. And then 8 a.m. on a Tuesday until 5 p.m. on Tuesday, that's going to be, so 5 p.m. is the same thing as 1700 hours. So 8 to 17 is plus an extra 9 hours. So we've got 24 plus 9 hours, which is equal to 33. Okay, because this is calculator paper, I'm actually going to go straight into this. So to get from 72 to 33 hours, what have we done there? Well, we have divided by something. So 72 divided by 33 is 24 over 11. So we've divided by this number, 24 over 11. Going to keep it as a fraction. Why do we do that? Well, it then means that we know that 2 machines would take 33 hours to make, and we also, to make, we need to divide the 1/4 by 24 over 11 as well, because we've divided the amount of time. So if the amount of time decreases, then the output is also going to decrease. So we divide this by 24 over 11. So a quarter, using our calculators, divided by that is going to give us 11 over 96. So 11 over 96, that fraction of enough. Okay, so then the scenario changes now. So that's for the first 33 hours. Then it says she can start using a 3rd machine at 5 p.m. So now we need to work out what 3 machines can do, basically. So we know, this is our first part. This is our first important bit of information that we're going to use. So I'm just going to circle our piece of the puzzle. So that's one part of our important information. Next, we now know that 3 machines, so to get from 2 to 3, we've times by 1.5. So 3 machines and, 3 machines, 33 hours. We can actually multiply the 11 over 96 by 1.5 as well. So again, using the calculator, giving us 11 over 64 E. So again, we're changing just one thing at a time. So I'm changing the number of machines, which then means that one of the 2 things will change, and I'm choosing to change the number of pens that are made. Okay. So now the question is we want to work out how much time we're using 3 machines. So she can start using a third machine at 5 p.m. on Tuesday. Finally, 3 more machines will be free at 10 a.m. on Wednesday. So we need to work out the time from 5 p.m. Tuesday to 10 a.m. on Wednesday. Well, we know that 5 p.m. Tuesday to 5 a.m. Wednesday is 12 hours. And then 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. is an extra 5 hours, so that's 17 hours. Okay, so these 3 machines will, in 17 hours, will create how many pens? Okay, so to get from 33 to 17, so 33 divided by 17, well, it's just 33 over 17. Love it when the calculator does that. So we've divided by 33 over 17. So we must also divide this number by 33 over 17. So divide by 33 over 17. So I'm laying it out like this just because it makes it clear. So 11 over 64 divided by 33 over 17, which is 17 over 192. So 17 over 192. That's how many pens are made in that time. Okay. And then afterwards, we then know that from 10 a.m. on Wednesday, 3 more machines will be made. So this information is also vital. Let's use the green. So this is vital as well. Now, finally, we have, if 3 more machines become available, we now have 6 machines. So 6 machines, well, that's double the number of machines. So that's going to be 6 machines, and it's going to do, if it was working for 17 hours, it would make twice the amount of pens. So that's going to be 17 over 96. So I'm just doubling everything. So that times by 2, the hours stay the same, but then this is times by 2 as well. Now we just need to work out how much more, how many more pens we actually need to make. So far we've made 11/96 of the amount. And then we made an extra 190 seconds, I guess. So 17 over 192 of the amount. So 17 over 192 plus 11 over 96, again using those fractions, gives us 13 over 64e. So essentially we've got 1 takeaway 13 over 64e. And again, using our calculator, we just do 1 takeaway 13 over 64. That's going to give us 51 over 64. So we want to work out how long is it going to take to make this much of the rest, basically. Oh gosh, mine is a bit ahead. E. So we need to work out what's the multiplier to get from 17 over 96 to 51 over 64. Okay, so that's divided by 17 over 96. And that's 9 over 2. So times that by 9 over 2. So if we're making more pens, that's going to take more time. So the 6 machines so the 6 machines will take, so we're doing 17 times by 9 over 2. So what is 17 times 9 over 2? Well, that's going to be 153 over 2. So 153 over 2 hours to make the rest of the pens. So we've got our final piece of information there. So we're nearly there, guys. We're nearly there. So that and that. Okay, and then that means that we can now add up all the times that we have. So we had 11, no, not 11, taking the wrong bit. So for the first bit, that was 11 over 96e, we're going here. That's 33 hours. Plus the 17 hours from here. Plus the 153 over 2 hours. 153 over 2. And I'm just going to use my calculator to do this. So that's plus 33 plus 17. That's 253 over 2, which is equal to 126.5 hours. So we can just say, this is approximately when. So we can say 126.5 hours later. 126.5 hours later. So that's after the 8 a.m. on Monday. Now we could also work out, how much time that is in terms of days and work out the day, but that's the idea of this question. I may have gone about this a very long-winded way, but hopefully this question makes sense, the explanation at least. Anyway, I'm going to leave it for now, and we can resume for question 12 in part 2 of this walkthrough. Take care for now, guys.